Hello everybody, it's Big Al with some more content for LoTR Rise To War. Today I'm going to be doing a video on marshals. I already have one, but I wanted to make another one, kind of a refresher. Marshals are definitely more and more important inside of our game. As many remember from 1.0, rallies were very important, but well, now it's become marshals and rallies are less important when it comes to doing keeps. First and foremost, you need to know the only people that can make a marshal are the leaders and the confidants, those with the crown. Next, you can make marshals from 3 locations. You can make it from, see here, my base. You can make it from the Fellowship Fortress, or you can make it from your personal fort. So I'm going to touch on making it from the fort first. It is not necessarily the best idea to make a marshal from your fort, and the reason being is your marshal is based off of how many open slots inside of your fort. So as you see, my fort is not fully upgraded. I can only house 4 commanders. So if I made a marshal from there, my marshal is only going to have 4 armies in it. Now, here's another part of it. Say I put 2 of my commanders inside the fort, and then I made a marshal. Well, there's only 2 open spots. So that marshal can only house 2 armies. So making it from your personal fort is not the best idea. When you make it from a fellowship fortress, it allows 5 people inside of the marshal. Now when you click on marshal, I can't at this moment because I already have a marshal, but when you click on the marshal, it's going to come up with the screen and it's going to give you a timer. You are to set the timer. That is a preparation timer. You want to make sure that that timer expires before the attack on the keep. Because if your marshal is not full, you cannot move that marshal until the preparation timer is done. But once your marshal becomes full, you can move it early. The way to check for marshals is you go to friendship or fellowship, cooperation, and you see the tabs down here at the bottom. There's the regular rally tab, which is generally for the bosses, and then there's the marshal tab. As you can see, these both have a countdown, and that is what the preparation timer is. We hit the keep in about 2 hours from now, so both of these will be expired, but they are full. Now I'm going to click on this one. As you see, it's White's Legion, so that's his marshal. There is a comment section right here in the middle, and when you're setting up the marshal from where it gives you the timer, there is a box underneath for you to write comments. You always want to put if it's a siege marshal or if it's an attack marshal, because you can do both. So as you can see, he made the siege armies. Now, a marshal has to have stamina to move, and that stamina is based on all of the armies inside of it. So my marshal was already full, so I was able to move him next to the keep that we are going to take. Now I'm going to click on him, and as you see, it tells you who is in it, how many hit points that army has, and who's leading that army. So I'm going to click on Cartman's. As you can see, it's showing me he's going to do 794 siege damage. But the more important part is down here at the bottom where it shows stamina, the 200 stamina. Let me look at the rest of them. You see how, okay, perfect. I found one right away. See how he has only 158 stamina? Now, if we were attacking the keep, it's going to take 20 stamina from each army. Okay, So this army would go down to 138 stamina and Cartman's would go down to 180. So I would keep attacking with my marshal until I couldn't move anymore. So what happens then, you ask? Well, since I can't move because Menelike doesn't have stamina, I would click this little red minus button over here, and I would remove him from the Legion. Okay, then I would only have 4 armies left in my Legion. Well, because Cartman had 200 and he had, I'm going to round, 160 stamina, that means Cartman still has 2 more moves in him. So once I get rid of Menelike, I could hit the keep 2 more times. That's also why it's important when you are sending to a marshal, make sure you have stamina, because this could become a pain when we are trying to hurry with keeps or other attacks. As you see, I bought the monthly package this season, which I normally don't do. So, with my Legion here, he pretty much acts like every army that you know of. He's going to move just like your armies move. See? Down here at the bottom, it's going to cost me 20 stamina to attack this tile. Let me click on my army. See? It's going to take 20 stamina to take that army. I can march him anywhere I want. Same thing. I have complete control over those 5 armies until either I disband the army or people decide to leave the Legion, the Marshal. So like I said, once it comes up and it's time, I will just hit occupy and control the Marshal and have him hit just like I would any regular army. With the Marshal, I have 5 armies inside of it. Well, all 5 armies do not hit simultaneously. There is a 10-second gap between the time the first commander hits and the second commander hits, and then 10 seconds between the time the second commander hit and the third commander hit. So those are some things to think about when you're making them. My suggestions, always do it from a fortress. 2, make sure that you're sending armies to the marshals with stamina. It will make it easier on the person trying to control them so they don't have to go through and kick people out when they're after they've hit the keeps a couple times. So those are my suggestions for how to do a marshal. I hope people utilize them because they have become a very, very important part of this game. As always, make the most out of what you got.